Washington Commanders fans, get ready, because this could completely change the direction of our defense in 2025. Have you ever imagined strengthening our roster with a top-tier talent still available on the market? Well, it looks like the Commanders are on the verge of making a strategic move that could further solidify our secondary. Let me tell you, what we're about to discuss makes a lot of sense for the future of this franchise. So, before we dive in, hit that like button because this discussion is about to heat up. And of course, comment below with your thoughts on this potential signing. I want to know if you're on board or not. Now let's get into it, because this speculation is getting serious. Adam Peters is not messing around. Since the end of last season, he has been reshaping this roster with a standard of excellence, and so much has already changed. It's been a busy few weeks, with key signings and a new defensive scheme taking shape, but there are still gaps that need to be filled. And one thing we all know is that Peters won't let those go unnoticed. Preparations for the 2025 season are in full swing, and with the Commanders currently holding $22 million in cap space, there's still room for more moves. Of course, they won't spend it all at once, but with only 5 selections in the 2025 NFL Draft, bringing in established veterans could be the key to balancing this roster before the season kicks off. If there's one position that could still use a game-changing addition, it's cornerback. We already have strong names like Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Sainristil, and Noah Igbenogany did a solid job in the slot last season. Plus, the arrival of Jonathan Jones adds experience and competitiveness to the group. But even with this solid core, there's still room for another impact player, especially if we consider depth rotation and the potential for injuries throughout the season. And that's exactly where the name of a player who could be the perfect fit for this defense comes into play: Asante Samuel. That's right, Commanders fans, pay attention to this possibility. Christopher Knox from the Bleacher Report has named Samuel as a viable option for Washington before the draft. And why is that? Despite his undeniable talent, the player has been dealing with a recurring issue that has kept teams hesitant: his nerve injuries, also known as stingers. This persistent problem limited him to just 4 games last season for the Los Angeles Chargers. But what if I told you that Washington might be the ideal place for him to recover and prove that he can still be one of the best cornerbacks in the league? First off, there's familiarity with the Commanders' coaching staff. Tommy Donatel, Washington's current defensive backs coach, worked with Samuel during his first 3 seasons with the Chargers. That means he knows the player well, understands his strengths, and would be able to help him transition smoothly into the Commanders' defense. On top of that, Dan Quinn loves players who fearlessly take on the league's top receivers, and we know Asante Samuel has the competitive mindset to thrive in that role. It's in his DNA, after all, given that his father was one of the best cornerbacks of his era. Of course, medical evaluations need to come first before any deal is made. His injury history is a legitimate concern, but if the Commanders believe he can stay healthy, a performance-based contract could be an ideal solution. Instead of long-term risk, Washington could offer him a 1-year prove-it deal, allowing him to show that he can stay on the field and perform at a high level. This would be a win-win situation. Samuel gets the chance to re-establish himself as an elite defender, while the Commanders get a high-upside player without compromising their long-term cap flexibility. Another crucial factor here is the draft. With the 29th overall pick, Peters could be looking to address other areas of the roster. And if he manages to bring in veteran reinforcements beforehand, it would give him much more flexibility to take the best player available rather than focusing strictly on positional needs. That's why signing an experienced player before the draft could be a brilliant strategic decision. Look, I love aggressive, hard-hitting defenses, and I think we can all agree that having an elite group of cornerbacks makes a huge difference in today's pass-heavy NFL. Imagine heading into the season with a core of Lattimore, Sainristil, Igbenogany, Jones, and potentially Asante Samuel. That would be a nightmare for any opposing quarterback. And let's not forget that in our defensive scheme, which prioritizes quarterback pressure and aggressive coverage, adding one more playmaker in the secondary could take this team to another level. Now, of course, this is all still speculation. But here's the big question. Should the Commanders take the gamble on Samuel despite his injury concerns? What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on everything Washington Commanders. The 2025 offseason might have been a game changer for our team. Adam Peters and his staff didn't hold back in reshaping this roster and preparing Washington to compete on equal footing with the NFC's top contenders. And according to one of the NFL's leading analysts, we made one of the best moves of this signing window. Could we have finally found the missing piece? The folks at NFL.com put together a ranking of the top 10 moves of the offseason, and guess where the Commanders landed? In the top 4. That's right, my friend, 4th best move among all teams. And what put us in this position wasn't just signing free agents, but a strategic trade that could completely transform our offense. Washington had already been making solid decisions, but the deal that brought Deebo Samuel to the Capitol made the team one of the standout winners of this offseason. And let's be honest, this addition could be exactly what Jaden Daniels and this offensive unit needed. Analyst Jeffrey Chadiha pointed out that this trade could be a massive game changer for the Commanders' offense. He explained that pairing Samuel with a young, promising quarterback like Daniels, alongside an elite wide receiver like Terry McLaurin, could create havoc in the league. And it doesn't stop there. Our run game was already one of the best in the NFL last season, creating the perfect environment for Debo to do what he does best: turn simple plays into massive gains down the field. This setup closely resembles what he had during his peak years with the San Francisco 49ers. Some fans are still processing this move, but many are ecstatic about seeing Samuel in an offense run by Cliff Kingsbury. And honestly, the excitement makes total sense. Besides being a dynamic playmaker, Samuel brings a unique skill set that could change Washington's offensive approach. He's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL when it comes to short yardage receptions, and he could be a huge weapon in situations where Daniels needs to get the ball out quickly. This not only makes life easier for the quarterback, but also eases the pressure on the offensive line, something crucial even with the arrival of Laramie Tunsil as the new starting left tackle. If everything goes as expected, this offense has the potential to be one of the most explosive in the NFL in 2025. Last year, our offensive unit already showed it could put up big points, and now, with Samuel adding his versatility to the group, we might take things to another level. Just imagine the possibilities. McLaurin stretching the field, Samuel dominating short yardage plays, and Jaden Daniels finding his rhythm. This could be the perfect formula to compete and, who knows, finally overtake the Philadelphia Eagles in the division. Pay attention, because this news could be a game changer for our season. If anyone still had doubts about what this franchise aims for in 2025, it's now clear. We want the title, and we want it now. The move Washington made in free agency put the NFL on alert, and according to CBS Sports, this was one of the most impactful signings of the offseason. But was it the right move? Let's break down this decision and understand how it could completely change the future of the Commanders. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and comment below what you think about this move, because this debate is going to be hot. Unlike what we saw a year ago when Washington signed 10 new players, this time the approach was different. Less quantity, more quality. Only 2 stars arrived, but both in crucial positions to strengthen this offense. First, Debo Samuel, the all-pro wide receiver who comes in to be a constant threat. And now, the arrival of left tackle Laramie Tunsil, a 5-time Pro Bowler, makes it clear that this team is not thinking long-term. They want to win now. And let's be honest, protecting Jaden Daniels and giving him elite offensive weapons makes perfect sense for our trajectory. It wasn't just the fans who noticed the impact of this acquisition. CBS Sports ranked Tunsil's signing as the 6th best move among the top 10 NFL offseason transactions. Why? He is one of the best blindside protectors in the league, and the need to bolster this part of the offensive line was enormous after seeing Daniels get sacked 47 times in his rookie year. The young quarterback has talent, but we know a rookie can't survive on the field without decent protection in the pocket. And let's be real, if he continues to face the kind of pressure he did, we could be putting his career at risk. Of course, every big move comes with its price. To bring in Tunsil, the Commanders traded draft picks and took on a contract that makes him the 3rd highest paid left tackle in the NFL, with a base salary of $20 million. This means Washington went all in and showed they are not concerned with long-term planning. They want a competitive team now, without waiting for young talents to develop over the next few years. This mentality can be risky, but it could also be exactly what we needed to take the next step toward the Super Bowl. We know the Eagles' defense remains a huge obstacle in the NFC East, and to beat them, we need a powerful and well-protected offense. Tunsil will not only strengthen the offensive line, but also allow Kingsbury to develop a more balanced scheme where Daniels can exploit his targets without so much pressure on him. With McLaurin and Samuel running routes and Brian Robinson securing good runs, our offense could become one of the most explosive in the league. Now, the big question: will this aggressive approach by the Commanders pay off and put the team in serious contention for the title? Or do we risk seeing this strategy backfire and compromise the franchise's future? I want to know your opinion, fans. Leave your comment and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more news and analysis on our Commanders.